Okay. Good evening, college and teacher. Today I am going to talk about a very important topic that has been very controversial in the whole world, and it is about the importance of vaccinations against COVID-19. Okay, my name is Diana Marcela Oquendo Giraldo. I am a nursing student of the nursing faculty of the University of Antioquia, and I will begin to talk to you about. Okay, the table of contents, I told how COVID-19 acts in the human body and the types of vaccines and their doses and their advanced effects and the damage they have causes to people, and finally the main myths about these vaccines. Okay, how COVID-19 acts in the human body. Although there are still many doubts about this new virus that fears appeared in the central province of Hubei in China and towards the end of 2019, it is said that contagious occurs when we inhale small droplets expelled through coughing or sneezing of an infected person or contact with a contaminated surface. Coronavirus is primarily a respiratory virus, so it starts infecting the throat. When the virus enters our body and through the eyes and mouth or nose, it attacks and it sets to the mucosal cells and the back of the nose and throat. The main symptoms of COVID-19 are the Tourette's, fever, and dry cough, but some patients may also have itches and pains, nasal congestions, and sore throat and diarrhea. Okay. I will begin to explain now how the coronavirus affects our body. It all begins. And one moment, please. Okay. Where I began to explain now how the coronavirus affects our body, it all begins. The number one, because it's spear-shaped proteins that protrude from the surface, which give in the shape of a crown, make the coronavirus can penetrate the membrane of these cells. And once inside the cells, like other viruses, it begin to give to order to produce more viruses, or as it is also known to replicate. Since beginning a microscopic infections agent, it can only multiply in size the cells of other organisms. Each virus can create begin the thousand and on 100,000 replicas. When this happens, the body realizes that the virus is there and produces an inflammatory response to try to feed it. That is, we were start to feel a little sore throat, and we may feel study nose. The virus then goes to the bronchial tubes, the airways, and then land to the lungs, and there it produces as inflammation in the mucous membranes of the tubes. And this causes irritation, and that is why we start coating. Will will this happen in the inflammatory response increase because the body is fighting against the virus? And as a consequently, fever appears at this point is when we start to feel sick and lose our appetite. The situation can get worse if the virus leaves the bronchial tube and rush the lungs, where it causes inflammation, which will be pneumonia. It creates congestion, pneumonia, and it creates congestion in the small air sacs at the base of our lungs, alveoli. If and though of the lung tissue is affected, the patients will find it more difficult to breathe because he or she cannot exhale the bad air and inhale the good air. And when the body cannot get in low oxygen, the patient must be hospitalized and may need to be put on a ventilator. The alveoli are what normally fill with air until their walls and gaseous exam take place by which oxygen reach the blood. And from and from there the rest of the body. But if these sacs are filled with infection combined with our body response to that infection, they have less capacity, for air, and if the body does not receive enough oxygen, the result in respiration failure, and the hair not receiving enough oxygen through the blood stream cannot function. Okay, and COVID-19 is not only culprit of causing pneumonia, it could also cause damage to other organs, such as the hair, liver, and kidneys, as well as a body system, such as the blood, or immune system. This may partly explain with some infected patients have surfaced from diarrhea and abdominal pain, a problem that are not directly linked to a respiratory infection. Has a lung damage blood to the lungs and other organs, and the vast majority and recover completely. Although there are also some reports of patients who, as a consequence of inflammation, may have some scarring of the lungs and reduce lung function. Okay, we'll now I am going to talk about the types of vaccines are their doses. Multiple vaccines studies have been conducted worldwide, but in the United States, the only approved vaccines are four. And then the first is Pfizer, or also called BioNTech. This vaccine can be received by people over 12 years of age. Two doses are necessary, administered at interval of 3 weeks, 21 days. And you will be fully vaccinated 2 weeks after the second dose. And the second is the Moderna. This vaccine, can be received by person older than 8 years of age. Two doses administered at the interval of 2 weeks, 28 days are necessary, and you will be fully vaccinated after your second dose. The third is the Janssen of Johnson & Johnson. This vaccine can be received by persons older than 18 years of age. A single dose is necessary, and you will be fully vaccinated 2 weeks after your single dose. And finally, we have Oxford, of more famously known as AstraZeneca. This vaccine can be received by people older than 18 years. Two doses are necessary with an interval of 8 and 12 weeks. Okay, here I am going to show you some demographic data in Colombia that show the doses per 10,000 inhabitants, excuse me. Uh, we know I am going to talk about some of adverse effects of the different vaccines and the damage they have caused to people. So we know that vaccines are made to give immunity, without running the risk of presenting the disease they project against. After getting vaccinated, some people have mild to moderate symptoms that are because the immune system is causing their body to react in a certain way. For example, increasing blood circulation to that more immune cells are distributed to increasing body temperature to more easily kill viruses. And there's mild to moderate effects such as fever or muscle ashes are normal and should not cause alarm, as they indicate that the immune system is responding to the vaccine, or more specifically to their antigen, and is preparing to fever the virus. See, side effects usually disappear spontaneously within a few days, and the absence of side effects does not mean that the vaccine is not effective, because each person reacts differently to vaccines. So now, yes, the specific side effects to each vaccine approved in the United States are, and the for Pfizer or BioNTech, or for Moderna, and for Oxford or AstraZeneca. In the arm where you receive the injectable vaccine, you will feel normally pain and redness, and swelling. And in the rest of the body, you will feel tiredness, head dash, muscle pain, chills, fever, and nauseous. For Johnson y Janssen, the vaccination Janssen, the some symptoms mentioned above for Pfizer and Moderna and AstraZeneca, but these vaccines, some people have present finding after vaccination, Altogether have been related to states of anxiety due to increased breathing and lower blood pressure, but they have not been serious because people rush with minutes. Excuse me. Okay. One of the less frequently side effects reported with the COVID-19 vaccines is severe allergic reactions, such as cases of anaphylaxis. However, the reactions is very rare. Causes of myocarditis and pericarditis has been reported in adolescents and young adults more frequently after receive the second dose than after the first dose of a Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. Reports are rare, and the benefits outweigh the risks. Okay, some cases of serious adverse effects are one patient in the US and two British patients suffer what is known as anaphylactic shock combined with raining of the sick and difficult breathing, excuse me. Since these people have no previous illness and were not known to be allergic, the British authorities warning allergic people not to be vaccinated. And the manufacturers see no direct link to vaccination in the case of an American doctor with two previous illness who died 16 days after vaccination from a brain hemorrhage resulting from the immune thrombocytopenia. This is a condition in which the immune system reduces the number of patents in the blood. With the morning vaccine, there are also a few allergic reactions and some facial nerve palsies. It is not yet clean whether, the reactions are actually related to the vaccination. And the AstraZeneca vaccine caused some stupor during clinical treats in September because on tests, person suffered inflammation of the spinal cord after vaccination. The study was briefly held. The study, was briefly halted unit an independent panel of experts determined that the inflammation was not related to the vaccination. Well, now I am going to tell you once the must do to notify if we have an adverse event. Then Then that event must be reported to the Spanish pharmacovigilance system for medicinal products for human use. You can do it directly or through an healthcare professional, for example, medical, pharmaceutical, or nursing professional. All all health professionals as well as any critics can notify. You can notify to the electronic form of alloy on the well triple W notifica RAM point ES or any other means made available by your anonymous center of pharmacovigilance. Okay, to conclude this presentation, I am going to comment on some of the most common myths that have arisen about vaccines. Um, thanks to social Thanks to social networks, thousands of memes have been speculating about COVID-19 vaccines. The most common ones I read on the internet and asked people close to me are. Okay, and the first one myth is that if the vaccine is going to modify our human DNA. And no, vaccines based on messenger ribonucleic acid technology do not even come close or to our DNA, which is inside the nucleus of the cells. So that is extremely unlikely. And another means is the vaccine can interfere with fertility in women and men, nor is there any centrally that he will happen. On the contrary, the first evidence has already emerged that infection with the new SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus itself may influence fertility in men, but this will be consequencing, of the virus infection and not because of the vaccine. Another means says the vaccine does not protect against COVID-19 mutations. There is evidence that some of the vaccines have reduced efficacy against some of the mutated viruses. Another means talks about vaccines have been developed in a very short time, so you can't really of their safety and efficacy. And the vaccines have been developed in a very short time, but how fortunate that we now have them. If you compare the expenses we had due to confinement and disruption of economy production, the impact of vaccines has always been characteristic. Come out a hell of a lot sharper than the actual cause we have now. They also say that the vaccines does not protect against coronavirus. Many who were vaccinated have been infected that have even died. Without generalizing, it is a true that vaccinates can become infected and can potentially infect others, but they do not become seriously ill. And so far, there is no evidence in the world that anyone has died from the vaccine or that side effects are dangerous. No, in some cases, slightly more several allergy reactions can occur, but they are manageable with medication. In those cases, the vaccinating physician must know in the patient has certain allergies is ordered to prevent and intervene. There are also people who claim that if I am over the coronavirus, I don't need to be vaccinated. We don't know. We do not know for sure. That is still subject to studies. The problem is that one may have been infected and developed a very weak immune response. And finally, that I prefer to share the results in other people first before getting vaccinated. This is very dangerous because with the intense circulation of the new coronavirus, the sooner a person is vaccinated, the safer they are. And at the population level, it contributes more to slowing down the circulation of the virus. You have the towards the vaccines because in general they works. All established vaccinations have shown incredible benefits to humanity, people health. And okay, we'll have a conclusion. I want to tell you that getting vaccinated is not bad. Before I encourage you to do it, a new strain in coming that is capable of killings us if we don't have the vaccines, but with them we can save ourselves. Well, and there are bibliographic references that I use it. And thank you very much. Have a happy week and goodbye.